I never thought I'd be caught in something like this. Stories like these had always felt far off, tragedies that happened to other people, never to me. It's like seeing a wild animal behind thick glass at the zoo. You know it's dangerous, but it feels safely removed from your own life. But life has a way of blindsiding you. My wife, my partner of over 2 decades, wasn't always the confident, admired teacher she is now. When we first met, she was just a bright, striking girl at a dance, not yet the seasoned educator known across town. I remember it so clearly. She had those striking blue eyes, a slender frame, and a sun-kissed complexion like she'd just stepped off a cruise ship. She had her fair share of admirers. Frankly, I think half the guys on campus were into her. But for some reason, she picked me. When I proposed, she said yes with a soft smile, then pulled me into a kiss that left my head spinning. Like most married couples, we've had our peaceful seasons and our storms. We've fought, patched things up, misunderstood each other, and grown stronger, just like everyone else who sticks it out. A year after our wedding, our son Lincoln was born. Now he's in his 20s and thinking about settling down himself. You might find it odd, but we've always worked in completely different fields. Nova teaches at one of the top schools in the city, while I've spent my career in the steel industry, managing crews and machines as a shop foreman. Our professional worlds never clashed. In fact, those differences seemed to balance us out. We celebrated everything: the day we met, our wedding anniversary, Valentine's Day, with cards, gifts, small tokens of love. It's strange how even calm waters can conceal hidden depths. And those depths for me were always in Nova's brilliant blue eyes. She's not just a teacher, she tutors students at home too. My schedule doesn't allow me to be around as much as I'd like, especially since I took out a loan to buy our new Mitsubishi. Every bit of extra income helps. I'd never owned a car before, so I doted on it like a prized possession, cleaning, waxing, making sure it gleamed like new. People often say that children mirror the environment they grow up in. Nova typically worked with older teens preparing for college entrance exams. She never clicked with younger kids and felt more comfortable with those on the brink of adulthood. Her reputation was unmatched. 90% of her students got into their chosen universities. After 2 decades of this life, I'd gotten used to all the types of students who came through: the trendsetters, the ones with crazy hair, the rebellious teens. Every school has them, right? So, imagine my surprise when the doorbell rang one afternoon and standing on the porch was a tall man, probably in his 30s, carrying himself with the quiet confidence of someone who had his life figured out. "Good afternoon. Is Nova home?" "May I come in?" he asked politely. "And you are?" I asked, trying to keep my tone neutral. "I'm here for tutoring," he replied. I must have looked puzzled, because he added with a chuckle, "You're probably wondering what a guy my age needs tutoring for." He wasn't wrong, I was confused. Isn't it a bit late to start learning new languages? As we like to say at work, that ship's already sailed. I joked, "Not really my call, Anthony." Nova's voice floated in from behind me. "Come in, Thomas. Don't be shy." Still a little thrown off, I stepped aside and let him in. Nova greeted him with a warmth I hadn't expected. She had clearly made an effort, wearing a fitted skirt that hugged her figure and one of her flashiest blouses with a neckline that drew the eye. I'd warned her not to wear that one before, especially in public, but we were at home, so I kept my mouth shut. I bit back the irritation, said nothing, and slipped into our bedroom, the door left slightly ajar. From the corner of my eye, I kept watching him. I won't lie, something about the guy rubbed me the wrong way. But I tried to ignore it, turned on the Champions League match, and shut the door firmly to block out the sound of German verbs and conjugations coming from the living room. Eventually, I adjusted. He started showing up regularly. Always courteous, always appropriate. Every now and then, he'd bring a small gift, flowers, a pastry, something modest. I kept telling myself it didn't bother me, that it wasn't worth thinking about. There were already enough headaches at work to keep my mind busy, so I pushed it aside and carried on. That was, until one afternoon in the smoke-filled break room at the factory, where crude jokes and teasing with Norm were the norm, I overheard something that landed heavier than I expected. Someone mentioned that a car in the lot had been vandalized, acid poured over the bodywork, causing nearly $20,000 in damage. Someone even carved a filthy word into the hood with a nail, one of the workshop guys added. My stomach turned. Instantly, I imagined the same thing happening to my car, the new one I'd worked so hard for. The thought of matching the paint again, of finding someone skilled enough to fix it properly, it made me feel sick. Another guy chimed in, my neighbor put up a camera on his porch. Caught one of those punks in the act. These bastards think they can get away with anything. That conversation stuck with me the rest of the day. Later that evening, I stopped by Jackson's place. He's always been the tech guy, into electronics, gadgets, office setups, so I figured if anyone knew about cameras, it'd be him. At first, he raised an eyebrow at my question, but then a mischievous grin spread across his face. Oh man, he said, laughing as he slapped his knee. For a second, I thought you were trying to catch Nova doing something shady. I gave a dry smile. Just need a camera. All right, he said, calming down. I've got just the thing for you. Best value for your money, and the image quality is insane. You'll catch every last detail, and the best part? It's tiny. You can hide it pretty much anywhere. He pulled a small box from his bottom drawer and handed it to me. Just one thing, he added. When you set it up, make sure you record something indoors first. It needs to calibrate and sync with the system properly. Got it, I said, paid him, and left, still unsure how or if I was really going to use it. That weekend, my son helped me set it up. He was cool about the whole thing. We didn't overthink it. Ended up mounting it in the hallway for now. We'll move it to the front entrance later, he said casually. That way, you can keep an eye on your precious ride. And just like that, the camera was in place. Subtle. Almost invisible. Life moved on. A few days later, senior management showed up at the factory for a surprise inspection. With all the chaos's paperwork, stress, and nearly being demoted, I completely forgot about the camera. It wasn't until Saturday night, when my son and daughter-in-law dropped by, that we remembered. Let's check the footage, he said with curiosity. Sure, why not? I replied. But as I glanced at his wife, I caught something strange in her expression, a quiet unease she tried to mask. I'd seen it before. Like that time she accidentally washed my pants with my passport still in the pocket. Ever since, I'd been extra cautious with where I kept important things. Something didn't sit right. With a few taps, I cast the hallway footage to the TV, the pride of our living room setup. At first, there was nothing unusual. Just normal, uneventful home life. I started skimming through it, fast-forwarding to see if anything stood out. A blur of everyday moments flickered past the screen like a strange home movie. Then suddenly, there it was. A moment that turned my blood to ice. Nova stepped through the door, followed closely by Thomas, the same guy, her student. An hour later, there he was again, completely naked, casually walking to the bathroom. His bare footsteps echoed on the floor. I froze. My wife darted from the room and locked herself in the bathroom. Neither my son nor his wife said a word. They quietly gathered their things, called a cab, and left without making eye contact. I stood there, shaking with disbelief and fury, yelling through the bathroom door. What the hell is this? What's going on? From behind the door came the sound of muffled sobs. She was crying, too ashamed to even face me. We've been sleeping together since almost the beginning, she admitted between choked breaths. Since the first session. I'm sorry, Lincoln. I really am. God will forgive you, I muttered, voice low and bitter. Her crying grew louder. This isn't like me. You know that. We've built a life together. We've been through so much. But it felt like something took over me. He's young, good-looking. I don't know what happened. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go a day without seeing him. I think I'm addicted to him, Lincoln. I didn't believe a word of it. This is how you repay me? I snapped. After everything I've done for you, you go behind my back like this? What am I supposed to do now, walk around looking like a fool? I couldn't even finish the sentence. My voice broke. Lincoln, please, she cried from inside the bathroom. Let's just start over. Pretend it didn't happen. Please, give me one more chance. Her voice trembled, clinging to desperation. For a second, something in me stirred, grief, pain, maybe even longing. But I shook my head, crushed by the betrayal. No, Nova. You need to be with him now. Take time. Think it through. File the papers. This is done. I walked out, leaving her behind that locked door, her sobs echoing into a house that suddenly didn't feel like home anymore.